Hi Sindhu, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Hi Shubhankar, good morning. So I hope you received all those, like playlist is ready and class document is ready.
Yes, ma'am.
So you may have one disturbance, maybe around 8:39. The vegetable vendor will pass through the streets and he'll keep shouting. And I think that's one noise I cannot avoid. Beyond that, we are good today.
Okay.
Just turn off my video. And did you go through the private and public relationships ethics video?
I mean, yes, ma'am. But I went through it I read it. And also you posted one.
Posted one?
I read from lexicon, ma'am, that topic.
Okay, so did you go through the video I have shared?
Yeah.
I have recorded. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. 7 minutes is that one I.
Okay, I hope the concept is clear.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's great. So in that area of ethics in private and public, the connecting statement between relationships and public relationships is crucial. That what we inherently do in our private relationships, we unknowingly, exude the same vibes in our public spaces also. So, in a way, the principles you follow in your private life shape the principles you follow in your public life. So, you can use that as a connector statement between these two. Hi, Anjana. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, hi, Subhankar. So, without any delay, let's get started with attitude. Before we go to attitude, I wanted to discuss an answer because we could not do it in person last time, and I wanted to finish that logically before we move into the next topic. Yeah, I'll use my whiteboard. Okay, so the question here is asking us the crisis of ethical values in modern times is traced to a narrow perception of good. So we studied this as to how to definition of
Ma'am, your voice is breaking. Is it the same with everyone?
I think voice is breaking.
Is it the
Right,
case with
Sunita?
everyone? Shubhankar,
Yes, ma'am.
is it the, is it the case with everyone?
Yes, yes.
Okay. We even did a dry run today. Maybe I should put my earphones. I wear the earphones and speak again. Do let me know. Thanks for alerting me. Okay, how do you sound now?
Now it is better, ma'am.
Yeah, now it is good.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for the word good because the moment Shubhankar said better, I'm like, oh my god, there's still an issue. Oh, okay. So do let me know immediately. I'll take care of it. So when we are answering this question, what is most important is to give our definition of good life. And crisis of ethics examples for this, be it in environment, be it in politics, or be it in the economy, people usually give this part very well. You can show what is lacking in the world, but to show what the world needs is your perspective, right? So this part is what I want you to stabilize at the beginning itself. So at the beginning itself, you have a question in your journal: what does happiness mean to you, or what makes you happy? So any good life is after all a happy life, right? So you are making each and every choice to be happy, and only when you do good either to yourself or to others, that's when you're happy naturally. So try to write down what is goodness to you, or what is happiness to you. Maybe you may find it in simple acts of helping, speaking up for yourself, standing up for someone who is suffering, or not throwing garbage on the roads, or maybe just going out and voting. So you find goodness in simple acts, and then go on to highlight how the world has been, losing these moments, and is in fact in a eternal chase, be it for material things, be it for success, be it for their personal ambitions. So how this chase has been depriving people of goodness. Highlight how these acts are in fact harmful, either to themselves or to the society around them. Because that's what we are saying, right? It is crisis of ethical values. Crisis means people have lost the common minimum decency. People have lost the simple principles based on which we should cooperate and live together. So that harmony is lost. People are now ready to shout at each other, people are ready to troll each other, people are ready to spread hate messages. So all of this because your definition of good is either being successful, or just your personal ambition, or just money, or maybe material stuff. So, if your definition of a successful life, or a good life, or your definition of happiness is very narrow, then you are impacting others. That's why we are calling it a crisis of ethical values. If you're doing harm for yourself, people won't speak. No problem. You keep drinking or you keep smoking, you're harming yourself. But then if you smoke out in the open and you're harming younger kids, that's a crisis of ethics, because ethics is always about collective good. So through your perception of goodness, you are harming yourself, and in the process you are harming the society. So this is the problem. And then you propose which value system, or what alternative vision of goodness can help the society stand up for each other. Maybe a society which is based on responsibility for each other. You can give examples of elders, elders, housing
Ma'am, your
society
voice is
hosted
Your
breaking.
now,
voice
some
is
people
breaking.
who
Ma'am, you
am I fine now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay, thank you. So, propose the alternate value system, or give the alternative vision as to the world you want to see, to reduce the crisis of ethics. So, you can cite examples of resident welfare associations which welcomed these migrants who are traveling all the way from Hyderabad to Maharashtra. There are some apartments which hosted these people, which gave them shelter. There are people who generously donated even during COVID, right? So despite job losses, people are standing up for each other. So you can cite such instances where the perception of goodness is not just in your personal glory, but is in a collective well-being. So with that proposal, you are understanding what is beginning. At the same time, happiness and of goodness human to
Ma'am,
acts kindness for you.
voice is breaking again.
Oh my god. My jaw is full. Like it has full strength. Just give me a moment, I'll try my idea connection. Okay, how do I sound now?
Yes, ma'am. It is good now.
Is it better now? Good
Yes,
now?
ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Keep alerting me and please bear with me because this is something new and totally unexpected. Yeah, we'll get back.
Ma'am, can you
So
summarize
try.
again?
Yes, of course,
Can you
sure.
summarize this
So
again?
okay, so at the beginning of the answer itself, try and state your definition of goodness. For you, goodness or a life of happiness is based on simple acts of kindness and responsibility for yourself and for others. That is your definition. And from there, you move on into the world and show how success, ambition, money, materialism, consumerism have been harming the society. This has led to a larger impact, deterioration in ethics of society because people are no longer trusting each other, people are ready to troll each other. So highlight the dangers with this narrow value system. What are the dangers? And then try and provide your alternative vision. This is the world that we have to move into, or this is the definition of happiness that will make the world a better place. So provide examples or instances of that world system, like I have mentioned, the apartments or charity or donations or any simple acts of goodness that you see, maybe a police officer standing up for a sexual harassment victim. So any such instances you come across in newspapers, try to quote them and conclude. So what you state at the beginning, you're concluding on the same note by substantiating it and proving it in a sequential order. I hope that's clear. This is how you write an ethics answer. It's not about writing, so this is not about writing what is good life, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is bad life? No, 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 not like this. I want your view of what a good life is, your perception on why people are missing it, and then your judgment on how to rebuild it. Fine. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am. It is clear now.
Okay. Okay. In fact, you can use one presentation style here. I call it the side box. So whenever you're writing this answer and you're going in the sequential order, you can use a side box. So let's say here. So you can define what goodness is. So being kind, being truthful, being responsible. You can do this instead of giving all this content in the answer itself. Try to use a side box for backup content. So you need the definition of goodness, but you don't have space to write it. So please use a backup box. It's a side box that helps maintain the flow of your answer, but at the same time, reduces space. I want you to try this also in solving our daily questions. Fine? Move on.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Let's move on to attitude. Tell me what you understand by attitude. We often hear this word. What is attitude?
Ma'am, some kind of evaluation about something.
Okay, so attitude is like an evaluation. So shall we say maybe assessment or judgment?
Judgment.
Yes. Okay. About anything, right? So can you just share any attitude you hold towards something?
Attitude.
Like,
Any,
ma'am,
yeah.
for like common attitude, like for like bribery and corruption, like
Hmm.
this is bad thing. It is most
Hmm.
of simple example. Like when we see garbage, we have attitude that it is bad for health. We should not do it.
Hmm.
We should not
Right.
it. But
Uh, sorry, Sindhu.
I mean, we try to not clean. I mean, we are okay when GHMC people pick up our garbage, but we not try to touch it because it is harmful for us.
So maybe because it is kind of polluting also, right? Because
Huh.
it looks filthy.
Yeah, yes.
Like,
Yeah.
ma'am,
Huh.
the most commonly used example, like for optimistic, pessimistic, that of glass, it is that water is there half the glass. Like we hold some attitude towards it, like our own interpretation about something.
Yes, exactly. So, like how we look at life, also, right? So, maybe how we deal with failure, how we deal with someone giving us an advice, how we deal with tough situations in life. So, all of these are based on the attitude we hold, right? So, you are totally correct in saying that attitude is our judgment, be it of any situation. So, any situation like failure, any situation like you receiving negative feedback from your team, or any possibly any situation where you are totally put down by someone. So I remember having an instance, like I just want to share it. So we went to the community swimming pool, and I was just coming back in the swimsuit itself. I because my home is just next lane, and I remember a elder man standing there and telling me that you girls should not come out in your swimsuit like this. Why don't you just learn to cover up yourself? So I was in a full swimsuit with full hands and long shorts, but this is what the man had to say. And what is his attitude based on? So his attitude is based on the idea that a woman has to cover herself fully, and if a woman is coming out in wet clothes, it naturally means that maybe she's inviting men, or maybe it's unsafe for her. But how did so I was totally shocked the moment he said that. I just walked past him. I After a few moments the words just started settling in. I came back and I nicely shouted at him. So I was saying, so who are you? Why don't you just mind your own business? Why do you keep telling women the way they have to dress? So I as a person have never spoken like that to a stranger, like literally shouting at them. But I have done that. So this is a classic combo of attitude and emotional intelligence as to how we perceive an event, how we perceive a situation or how we perceive a person. That is attitude. And based on the perception that we hold, based on the assessment that we are doing, we respond through our emotions. So, attitude and emotional intelligence are very, very close because attitude directly impacts our emotions, and through our emotions, what actions we are doing, right? So, attitude, a component of attitude is your emotion, and a component of attitude is your action. So that's what they call the ABC model, if you might have heard of it, the ABC model of attitude deconstruction,
Yes,
or
ma'am. Affective
the,
behavior,
yes, affective, or sorry,
behavior and
affective,
cognitive.
yes, behavioral and cognitive. So, affective component is the emotional component. Because the moment the man said, like he spoke like that, it has shown his attitude. But for me, it has invoked my emotions, right? So my response or my judgment of that situation is this person is attacking me personally. So I got angry and I started shouting back at him. And behavior, so his behavior of speaking to me like that or my behavior of shouting back at him are also based on the respective attitudes we hold. So my attitude of a elderly man who is deeply patriarchal, or his attitude of a modern woman who is being casual in her dressing. So whichever be that, so how we are responding in that situation. So this is the vegetable vendor I warned you about. So he will shout for a minute, just bear with him. And cognitive component is the belief or the reason. Do you want me to mute for a moment or shall you go with the sound?
No, ma'am, you can continue.
You can continue.
All right. So, cognitive component is the belief or it's very strong.
But now your voice is breaking, ma'am.
It is breaking. Everyone,
Yes, ma'am.
is voice breaking for everyone?
Yes, ma'am, it is break.
Oh God, I really want God to. Hmm. Okay. So let's try once more and see. Is it better now? Somewhat better?
Yes, ma'am.
Now it's fine.
Fine.
Ma'am,
Okay.
you
We'll,
told that attitude is uh, attitude is component of emotion and emotion is component of what was that?
emotions lead to actions.
Okay.
They influence our actions. So your attitude has action in it. It has emotion in it. And beyond the emotion and action, attitude also has reason or belief. So, did you guys hear about vaccine hesitancy?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you just sum it up? What happens in this phenomenon?
Ma'am, like there is somewhat misbelief that this vaccine will create some adverse reaction, or for community like religion is there. There is false interpretation like it contains somewhat banned or taboo things in it for community or any religion. So they hesitate basically to take it.
Right. So these are these emotions, okay, religion may be an emotion that if the vaccine contains pork DNA, then it will harm our religious beliefs.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Cognitive
this
plus
is an
emotional.
emotion. Yes,
Because
emotion plus cognitive.
educated person also saying that we will not take this vaccine because it is not fully tested.
Exactly, exactly. So there is some cognitive component also to this, right? And then when people say vaccines have adverse reactions, so I can give you examples where it is believed that vaccine will lead to sterility or impotency in men. So that is why many churches in the USA and some churches in the Europe have spoken against vaccines that it may cause impotency or sterility. So this is a strong belief, isn't it? A very strong conviction. They have a reason also to say that, okay, I am not just going blindly by fear, but I have a reason. I have a belief that if my child takes this vaccine, then he is going to become sterile for the rest of his life. Such attitudes, which are based on belief or reason, are very hard to break. It becomes extremely difficult for governments or for individuals to change attitudes based on strong beliefs. And if it is based on emotion, just you can speak to any Trump follower. They do not want to listen to any alternative view on Trump because they're highly emotionally connected to Trump. So they believe that whatever Trump says is the ultimate truth. So the attitude that you hold towards Trump is based on an emotion. So if you hold such attitudes, it is even difficult to change. For a person whose attitude is based on reason, though it is difficult, if you show them the alternative facts, maybe disprove right in front of them that what you're believing is totally wrong, then maybe you will have a chance to change their belief system. But if it is totally based on emotion, you cannot go with logic, and it is very deep rooted. It becomes stigmatized. You will be harassed, you will be questioned for speaking upon those issues. So, changing attitudes which are highly based on emotions are difficult, is a difficult task. Next, coming to the behavioral component of an attitude. So, this is how you actually interact with the world. Based on the emotion you hold and based on the belief you have, how are you responding? So, in that instance, my emotion was anger towards him, and I strongly believe that this man is a deep patriarch and he wants to tell a random woman on the street as to how she has to dress. So, this is my strong conviction that he is a patriarch, a old aged man who is deeply patriarchal, giving me unnecessary, uncalled for advice. And I am outraged, totally enraged. Then, what is my behavior? So, my behavior is shouting at him. I didn't even explain to him. I just shouted at him as to how he has to mind his business and why men keep telling women, and it's none of their business to tell us what to do. So I blended all my feminist thought into anger and just shouted at him. So instead, if my emotion, of course, I'll get angry. Of course, I'll feel disappointed. But if my belief is not, do you think me just judging him as a patriarch is right in this instance? Of course, I didn't
Hello,
take you through
ma'am.
the whole. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I always have this question. Like, I'm also a mild feminist, but I'm having this question. Like, someone is telling to women, you should do like, means if for example, dress like this, you should cover yourself. Is it we can take it as a patriarchy, or from a point of view of care?
Actually, patriarchy, yeah, Sindhu.
Now maybe his family, one of his family members may have faced the same situation, like someone has harassed some of his family
Yes,
members
right.
by giving a dress or something like.
Yes. Actually, the roots of patriarchy is that a man has to take care of women, right? So that is at the crux of it. A man has to provide while a woman has to stay at home and take care of things. So it's nicely gendered division. And man takes a responsibility of protecting women and defending her honor. So that's at the root of patriarchy, honor of women. But do you think this man knows all that? And do you think that's why he spoke? Maybe like the two of you have pointed out, maybe he has a child back home who suffered something like this, and maybe his response to me is just based on that. Uh, Maybe a genuine concern. Of course, the language he used could have been different, the way he has spoken to me could have been different, but because we know that there is a scope for dialogue, there is a scope to know more, like why did you say that, what made you feel so, and maybe if I can in fact help him to understand what's wrong in he saying that to me, if I can help him understand, he won't say that to another woman. Now what will he think of any other woman? He'll only brush off us as radicals, or maybe someone who doesn't listen, or he may in fact become even deeply entrenched in patriarchy, right? So because of my action I left no scope for course correction. Had a conversation with him. Of course I'm not saying try and test the waters as to why did this man say that. If he's really deeply patriarchal, like we been convinced
My voice is
arrogant,
breaking.
and he gave that piece of okay. So yeah,
My
once you are convinced man is patriarch, you make that conversation, get convinced that he in fact gave advice as a very deep patriarch and is arrogant, then maybe take it out or it's okay if you leave. But if the man has some scope for change, there is a scope for change, you missed an opportunity to change attitude. In fact, if you nicely talk to him, he'll go back to his family and help other girls fight such, random comments on the street. That is what we call as emotional intelligence. Firstly, deploying your emotions, first understanding your emotions, assessing the other person's emotions of the other side, and then totally taking a good bird's eye view. I think I lost internet. Did you listen?
No, your voice is breaking now.
Okay. Shall I do a conference call like we have decided? Can you all
Yes,
send
ma'am.
me?
We can do that.
Thank you.